Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request, this time from Charlie Chalk. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, reviews, re-reviews, topics, reactions, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now this is for the last episode of a show called Darkplace. Now, it's people like Charlie Chalk who helped me find this show, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the show. I reviewed a couple of the other episodes. And what it is, and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, to be fair. I have some friends who didn't like it, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But it's a show where they made it that the basis is there was a show in the 80s, like a soap opera horror show that was so bad it lasted for only 6 episodes, and you see them and there's mistakes and like quickly someone's mascara is running and the next shot they're not, and inane plots and crappy writing, but all done on purpose in a very fun, witty way. And then in between the episodes they have the actors and creator talking about the episode. What happened? What was the meaning of the episode? What did this mean? And just being very pretentious about how proud they are, even though it's a shitty show. And the fact that everybody takes it so seriously, the fact they play it all straight, the way it looks like something that would be in the 80s. I think they did that very well, from the way the show opens and the guy typing and the effects used and the purposely bad cuts. It's very satiric and very funny in my opinion. I thought the actors play their roles well for what it's supposed to be. Like, this is how you do something that's supposed to be bad, but it's on purpose bad, because satirical. It's hilarious to me. So you have like the creator of the show. He opens up each episode. He's talking to the camera. He's reading a book. Oh, this couple had sex. Then a hell beast ate them. You know, I love great tragedies. Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, The Poseidon Adventure, Superman 2. I love all the great tragedies. This is my Romeo and Juliet, but it's less whiny. Well, I think this is a very well-written show. And then when it goes into the actual show, the way the cinematography looks and the production, it does seem like something that would be a shitty show in the 1980s. And the way the actors, they portray it, they do portray it like fucking soap opera actors would do, in this very self-serious, pretentious manner, even though it's such a shitty show. And this episode is this green fog. And the mistakes, like the camera doesn't know if it should be going in and out and focusing in this one spot. And the name of this episode is The Creeping Moss from the Shores of Shudith. A woman turned green last night. She's turned into broccoli. And then it goes into people explaining themselves, and the creator's like, it represented AIDS. Which, you just see a pretentious asshole saying that. That's something as inane as someone turned to broccoli, and their explanation, hey, AIDS were around at the time, and yeah, I lost someone because of AIDS, and this represented AIDS. They're doing a lot better than I'm making it sound, but there's a lot of wit to this. Or the fact that during the episode, one of the doctors falls in love with this woman who's slowly turning green, and during it, a music video pops up where the guy sings One Track Lover down a two-way lane. And I thought they did a nice job replicating the time of an 80s music video. It's actually not a bad beat for the track, and the way it's edited, like, they did a nice job replicating what an 80s music video would be. That's what makes it funnier. Kind of like This Is Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. The way This Is Spinal Tap works is the way this show works. Where the more genuine you make it, the funnier it is. And like the stuff they do, like the lead and the other doctor who's in love with this girl are supposed to have a fight, and the way they edit the purposely edit bad with the kicks and the punches, which is funnier because I've seen this is kind of the fighting I would see in movies, shitty movies to some today, but here they're doing it on purpose. I like the manager, the owner of the hospital, the boss. He comes in and shoots the ceiling with a shotgun. It's like, knock it off. This is a hospital. I'm like, dude, you just shot the fucking ceiling with a shotgun in the hospital. Be like, you guys knocked it off. This is a hospital. But the fact that they're deadpan and serious about it, and no one's winking to the camera every 10 minutes is what makes the show work. And it's such that it was only 6 episodes. But that's the whole gimmick, is that this was such a bad show it lasted for 6 episodes. So, or like, oh, this scene was lost and something happened. So here we are having to replicate it with on-set photos. So it's just a bunch of Polaroids shown while you hear the dialogue. And, the show, the episode ends. I even like the way it ends with some of the actors like pontificating the... I will say, if this the sixth supposed to be the last episode, why they didn't get all the actors to say something, like the other doctor and the female doctor. Like, they should have had everybody like say their parting words. That's how it would happen if this was for real. They really only did like 2 people to talk. They should have had all the people talk. That would have been part of the more genuine... Well, this was the last episode. We're pontificating on the last episode. But, they're talking in the pretentious ideas of, TV today. They're really dumbing down TV. And the creator goes, with this show, I just hope I changed the way you look at life. And that's the last thing the guy says. Like, what better way to showcase this guy was so full of himself to go, I hope this changed the way you look at life. Yeah, in a way it did, so he's not lying about that. Again, issues... I wish the lady... I forget her name. I wish she had more to do. Or at least to say something at the end of this episode, if this is the last. Because she's one of the main stars. And like the other guy, the other doctor, it's like he didn't really have much to say in the interviews. I think that'd be, like I said, more leaning towards the finality of this. Or maybe even a moment where all of them get together and they like try to do some pretentious thing where they toast to a show that will last forever, or like something a bit even more pretentious. Considering if this was their plan to just do 6 episodes, there's not really anything that big. Which I guess is the point, is that within the show it got canceled and there would not have been this big event, but still you would think there'd be like this big event for this finale of this short-lived, how do I put it? Like, the show itself in real time is 6 episodes. It seems like it was just meant for 6 episodes. But the show within the show, it's understandable if that's more of a mild show, because they didn't know it'd be the end, the finale, the series finale. But I'm just saying, even with the interviews, aside from some little talks here and there, you feel like it'd be like a bigger production. Like, this is the last we'll speak of it. This is the last we'll talk about it. I was expecting something a bit bigger for the last episode, if that makes sense. And again, the female actress, I forget her name. I should have wrote it down. But because she didn't really do much in this episode. So I'm like, you can write these any way you want. Have her... Like, you set her up pretty big in the first episode. And that's the thing, like, if you don't have the you said her a lot in the first episode, you should have her do stuff in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, be a nice bookend. Even if it's supposed to be a show that got canceled in the middle, it'd still be a nice bookend among your grand scheme of making this fake 6 episode. It's confusing because it's, you have the show and then you have the show within the show, so it's confusing to explain it. But I was thinking like a bit bigger and a bit more usage of all the cast members. I guess, the idea of a girl turning to broccoli. It's okay, that's the last story point of the show within the show. I wish it was something even grander or more. I don't want to say more insane, because that is an insane idea, but something. Just I respect it a bit more. Just something. I keep thinking grander. I don't know how else to put it. But I like the humor. I like the great sense of humor it laid out. The actors portrayed what they're supposed to do fairly well. I like the look of it. This does capture the old time look fairly well. And, the on purpose mistakes and having a music video in the middle of it. All the elements that would make this a bad show that didn't last long. So, Darkplace, again, it's sad they didn't do more. It's sad that that's all there was. Because I was enjoying it. And I just, with their finale, I just wish there was a bit more bigger, grander stuff to it. But man, maybe that's the point. Maybe to do the opposite, that was the point. And I'm missing out on that's going over my head. But if you're all interested in seeing a show that again takes the fucking piss out of soap operas, bad horror shows, that does a nice job replicating the 80s, that in the vein of Black Dynamite. I'm not saying this does it better than Black Dynamite. I think Black Dynamite is a better film, but funnier film. But, films like that where it's doing an ode to an era and having on-camera mistakes on purpose, and to me being fairly funny and fairly weird, and yes, some, not so much in this episode, but other episodes, some fun practical effects and some crazy off-the-wall sense of humor. Like, what are we going to do about this lady? We might have to steam her. Because she's turned to broccoli. So we might have to steam her. It's the fact that they play so deadpan is what makes it more chuckle-worthy. Instead of, do you get it? Do you get it? So I thought that was the right course of action. So overall, it's a fun show. At least to me. I'm glad that I was able to define it thanks to people like Charlie. So thank you so much. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. They're all on YouTube. Again, might not be your cup of tea, but I think it's worth a look. Just type in Darkplace in one word, and you'll more than likely find it. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.